Fascinating facts about Marvel. A deep dive into the legendary company Marvel has become a cultural phenomenon, captivating audiences worldwide with its superheroes, epic storytelling, and groundbreaking cinematic universe. Beyond the comics and movies, Marvel has a treasure trove of fascinating facts that many fans may not know. Let's explore some of the most interesting and surprising facts about Marvel. 1. Marvel was almost called Timely forever before becoming Marvel Comics. The company was known as Timely Publications in the 1930s. It later became Atlas Comics in the 1950s, before officially adopting the name Marvel Comics in 1961. The name change signified a fresh start and the beginning of a new era in superhero storytelling. 2. Stan Lee almost quit before creating the Fantastic Four. Stan Lee, Marvel's legendary writer and editor, was considering leaving the comic book industry due to creative frustrations. His wife, Joan, convinced him to write one last story the way he wanted, leading to the creation of Fantastic Four #1 in 1961. The comic's success reshaped Marvel and the entire superhero genre. 3. Spider-Man was almost rejected. When Stan Lee pitched Spider-Man to publisher Martin Goodman, he was initially dismissed because a hero based on a spider was thought to be too strange. However, Amazing Fantasy #15 featured Spider-Man's debut, and he quickly became one of Marvel's most beloved characters. 4. The first Marvel superhero wasn't Spider-Man or the Hulk. Many assume that Marvel's most famous superheroes came first, but the first Marvel superhero was actually the Human Torch, an android character introduced in Marvel Comics #1. This is not the same Human Torch that later appeared in the Fantastic Four. 5. Captain America punched Hitler in his first appearance. Captain America made his debut in Captain America Comics #1, famously depicted punching Adolf Hitler on the cover. The comic was released months before the US officially entered World War II, making it a bold and controversial statement at the time. 6. Wolverine was originally supposed to be a real Wolverine. Wolverine, one of Marvel's most popular X-Men characters, was initially conceived as a mutated Wolverine animal that evolved into a human-like form. This idea was eventually scrapped, and he became the Canadian mutant we know today. 7. Marvel created a zombie universe. Marvel introduced Marvel's Zombie, an alternate universe where superheroes are turned into the undead. This dark and twisted take on Marvel characters became a fan favorite and inspired a What If animated episode on Disney+. 8. Deadpool was originally a parody of a DC character. Deadpool, the Merc with a mouth, was created by Rob Liefeld and Fabian Nicieza. His design and abilities were heavily inspired by DC, even sharing a similar name. Slade Wilson and Wade Wilson. Over time, Deadpool developed his unique humor and became an iconic character. 9. Marvel almost sold movie rights to all its characters in the 1990s. Marvel was struggling financially and sold movie rights to characters like Spider-Man. At one point, Marvel offered all of its characters to Sony for just $25 million. But Sony only took Spider-Man, believing others weren't profitable. This decision paved the way for Marvel Studios to create the Marvel Cinematic Universe. 10. The Hulk was originally gray, not green in The Incredible Hulk. #1. The Hulk was depicted as gray. However, due to printing issues, his color changed to green in later issues, which became his signature look. 11. Marvel Comics inspired the name of Metallica's first album. The title of Metallica's debut album, Kill 'Em All, was inspired by the phrase "What If?" Kill 'Em All, referencing Marvel's What If? Comic book series. The band later admitted their love for Marvel's alternate reality storytelling. 12. Thor's hammer once made Superman worthy in a crossover event between Marvel and DC. Superman was briefly deemed worthy to wield Mjolnir, Thor's enchanted hammer. This rare moment remains one of the most memorable superhero crossovers. 13. Marvel once created a superhero based on Eminem, collaborated with rapper Eminem for a special issue where he teamed up with the Punisher. The comic featured the rapper taking down criminals alongside Frank Castle in a unique crossover. 14. Marvel's first African-American superhero was Black Panther, introduced in Fantastic Four #52. Black Panther was the first black superhero in mainstream comics. He predates other African-American heroes, like Falcon and Luke Cage, setting the stage for diversity in comics. 15. The longest-running Marvel comic is The Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man holds the record for the longest-running Marvel comic book series, with thousands of issues published since its debut in 1963. It remains one of the best-selling comic book series of all time. 16. Marvel's logo was different before 2002, before the modern logo we know today. Marvel's branding evolved multiple times. The famous red and white logo was officially introduced in 2002, with marking a new era for the company. 17. Marvel once had a superhero who was just a squirrel girl. Introduced in 1991, has become one of the most unexpectedly popular Marvel characters. Despite her humorous nature, she has defeated some of the strongest villains, including Thanos and Doctor Doom. 18. The Infinity Gauntlet was originally a simple storyline. The Infinity Gauntlet, which became a massive plotline in the MCU, was originally a short comic storyline in the early 1990s. It grew in popularity and ultimately influenced the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame movies. 19. Marvel once had a Dracula comic series. Marvel delved into horror comics in the 1970s, publishing Tomb of Dracula, which introduced the character Blade. The series played a crucial role in Marvel's horror expansion and helped establish Blade as a major anti-hero. 20. The MCU's first movie wasn't Iron Man. Many people believe Iron Man was the first Marvel movie, but Howard the Duck was actually the first film based on a Marvel character. While it was a box office flop, it remains a cult classic today. Conclusion. Marvel is a company filled with incredible stories, both on and off the page. From near bankruptcy to box office domination, its history is packed with surprises. Whether in comics, films, or pop culture, Marvel continues to shape the entertainment world in ways few could have imagined.